Welcome to Andorks, the podcast where every week we'll analyze and scrutinize the Star Wars series Andor 7 minutes at a time. My name is Rusteen Honardoost.
And I'm Alex Wallenett.
We are in part 3 of episode 2, titled That Would Be Me. How are you feeling halfway through?
We still don't know who me is.
We really don't. It's actually kind of funny that we were so sure we were going to figure out who me is, and actually now that I'm looking through my notes,
we're halfway through. We don't know who me is.
I don't think this line actually comes up in the episode. I'm prepared to be wrong about that, but spoiler alert for part 4 that we're going to record after this, but I don't think anyone says that would be me at any point.
I mean, I was going to say, are there any robots that we don't... Maybe we have one alien that does come up who does speak, who is untranslated.
It could be him.
Yeah.
It could be him.
It could be him.
We'll find out.
We have no R2-D2 beeps that could have been there so far. Is it episode 8 where I have a bad idea about this?
I have a bad feeling about this? You mean the line that's in every single Star Wars thing?
Why am I hosting a Star Wars podcast? Isn't it one of the robots says it?
The thing is, everybody says it. C-3PO says it a lot.
No, in episode 8. It's not said.
Oh, yeah. BB-8 says it at the beginning to Poe, but it is unsubtitled.
Yes, but they have confirmed that is the reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's true.
Again, why am I a Star Wars podcast?
The fact that you don't know that is exactly why you host a Star Wars podcast.
I knew it. I knew 85% of it. oh, brother.
It's okay.
Okay, shall we head back into episode 2?
Part 3 of episode 2. Previously on Andor, Tim narked on Cassian to the Primor security, while Cyril Karn met his new fascist BFF, Linus Mosk. And we are picking up this episode back on the planet of Kennari, where young Casa catches up with the rest of his expedition party going out to inspect this crashed spaceship that has gas leaking out of it everywhere. We see the leader of his village slide down the hill and inspect what's going on while everybody watches her nervously, and she signals down to them to come down and follow after her. And they have this whole code system for working through this expedition. It's almost like military sign that they seem to have come up with as just young kids on this planet.
Yeah, I'm also reminded that I was re-listening to one of our, I think episode 2, where I referred to it as Kennari.
I did not catch that.
We should have edited that out. Again, we're going to establish why am I hosting a Star Wars podcast when I can't even get the name of the planet that we're on correct.
It's okay. In my notes, I wrote down Ferrix instead of Kennari. So we're both, operating in unprecedented times right now.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. But yeah, in this sequence, we see Andor as a part of this unit. And it made me think back to in Rogue One, where Cassian says that he's been a part of the rebellion against the Empire since he was 6 years old. And I think it's this organized squad here that feels like an extension of the rebellion that he's later going to be a part of. He just doesn't quite know it yet. And when he looks back on this time in his life, he realizes that this was the beginning of his rebellion.
I think that makes sense. And I think, what do we think about the framing device of the flashbacks in general?
I think there's kind of too many of them.
I agree.
I kind of wish some of them happened together.
Yeah.
This episode has 2 flashbacks in it. We're actually kind of weirdly getting bookended with flashbacks in this part. It is a lot. I do think that it helps to break up the action of the present day story. But it also is odd. It makes sense that this is the only time we see these flashbacks, which I think makes it okay. There was a part of me when I first watched these that I thought we're going to get flashbacks like this throughout the entire show. Yeah. Not full Lost, but something like that. But I think it makes sense as far as especially since we, meet Marva, and this flashback is kind of explaining how Andor got to Ferrix in the first place. It makes sense, but it is kind of a lot, and a lot of it is Cassian or Cassa kind of inertly watching things happen.
We don't learn a lot about his character through these flashbacks, nor is there much about his sister, who was ostensibly the...
I would disagree with that, but my evidence for it is in the next episode, so I'll save my take on that for later.
To your point, then there might be too many flashbacks if we are seeing this many scenes where he is just sort of passive and watching. And not that I understand why the show did it. I think I'm going to go back to, again, I've had conversations with more people since I'm hosting this podcast, and people have come back to me like, oh, I found the first couple episodes really boring. And I guess I'm going to keep coming back to this because I think that there is something about these episodes that is thematically challenging. I know it was not originally planned for the first 3 episodes to come together, or was it ever planned for the first 3 to come together?
The original plan was the first 2.
First 2, okay.
And then they added the third one to the premiere.
I feel, because this really does feel like the middle act of a 3-part story.
Exactly.
Like, I understand, I understand that was not the plan, but this really does feel like the middle act of a movie. We're filling out some of the stuff, but there isn't a ton of...
I mean, no matter what, I think these 3 all were written together. It was just a matter of like the scheduling that determined.
I think we're both writers, and I think there's something about Andor that I think there's a lot of comparisons to traditional TV making, and this other sort of, I don't even know what form you'd call it, of these like 9-episode miniseries, 10-episode miniseries, where it's not necessarily, this would never be an episode of TV 15 years ago.
No.
They would have to be a much more clear who was the main character of this episode, what's their arc. They have to end up at the end of the week at the episode in a different place.
Yeah. This
is sort of relying on the expectation that you will watch episode 3.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're rewatching this, and I'm finding 2 is just like, there's a lot of context here, but there's not a lot of story momentum. Like, it's hard to compare this to, say, a Sopranos or a Mad Men, where they're sort of self-encapsulated episodes.
Yeah.
There's something here that I think is to the advantage of the streaming age, of you can trust, like, it's not worrying about people coming in each week or the churn. It's meant to be viewed as part of a whole series, but I think it's a question of evolution of TV storytelling.
Yeah, if episode 1 was establishing all of the characters, it does seem like episode 2 is kind of stuck in the middle of what is going to then happen in episode 3. I think last week I mentioned that it kind of feels like we're more like moving characters into position as opposed to really seeing them actively changing the course of the story. And I have been feeling that as we've been slowly crawling through this episode.
I have to remind myself that this will not be the podcast forever. Like, it will pick up a little bit. And to that point, I found an interesting interview that Tony Gilroy did with noted right-wing freak Ross Douthat.
Yeah, okay.
Ross Douthat?
Ross
Douthat. No, Ross Douthat. Ross Douthat.
I doubt that.
I doubt that Ross Douthat should be listened to. But he actually did an interview with Tony Gilroy, which is interesting. And they get a little bit into the question of whether it's a left-wing show.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Well, then I have to say.
No, tell me. I don't remember like all of the specifics.
No, I guess you remember it. I don't have to bring it up.
I remember this interview happened.
But I think it gets to the point where he said, to quote Tony Gilroy in this article, "I don't think of the show as a left-wing show. That is not how I write. It's completely antithetical to the way that I write. I write very, very small. I trust my instincts are going to take me someplace larger if I'm doing it right. But it's really almost exclusively all about character. I plot through dialogue, I go very, very deep, and you can see how many characters I have and how many I'm carrying, and I don't think of it as pushing or promoting or anything." And I think that is an interesting quote to put with the episode that we're watching, which is that we talk about Andor's a left-wing show, but to him it is about the characters and their experiences.
Yeah.
So I think if we can guess that if he's going back to this childhood scene for Cassa so much, I think to him that is such a core part of what his experience is that he cannot ignore the dynamic of him as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what happens to Casa in Kennari teaches him why he needs to be a part of the rebellion. I think it seeds something into him. I was actually just listening to another interview with Tony earlier today.
We're on first name, but
we're on a first name
basis
with Tony. He was talking about how the real focus of the show is the destruction of community, whether it's a planetary scale down to a family. Fascism destroys a sense of community among its victims. And I think here on Kennari, we see that Casa is a part of a community that has been destroyed by the Republic.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of destruction of community, what are we talking about? Season 4 of Community?
There was a gas leak
I
on Kennari.
I had that joke. I was ready to go, and you just kept going with good analysis. But I didn't want to interrupt for that bad joke, but I had to let it out at some point.
I'm glad you got that out because that's a good joke.
Yeah. The gas leak season of Andor.
This kind of is the gas leak episode of Andor. Not that it hits that much of a low. I think it's only in comparison to the rest of the show that we would have complaints like this. I think if this was like a movie that came out, I don't think we would feel this lull as much as we do as a TV show where there's just so much more to experience.
And this is so much more of a benefit on second or third watch.
Yeah.
Which we are so aware of the show and we're watching it so closely. Like there's so much of this episode that is table setting, that is setting up for things that will pay off in the future, and we know what that payoff is.
Yeah.
That it's worth it from a contextual point of view. It's the themes. It's like going back to the beginning of a book and seeing like, oh, this was setting up this thing for a third act payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're watching this for the first time, I have to admit it drags. I understand stylistically, and this is not a thing where he was going to get canceled after episode 2, so he was worried about it. But it's something I think it's worth noting and discussing about.
One last point on, I think, part of why this drags, which is actually a lesson from the holiday special, that none of this is in English. None of this is subtitled. So we are just hearing people speaking a foreign language that we don't understand. And I think the way that they do it is very smart. It's very well done, but it does inherently alienate you as an audience member. And if you think back on like the holiday special, that's like the worst way to do it, where you have like 15 minutes of Wookiees like
no, that's the best way to do
shrilly yelling in your ears. Whereas here it's much more subtle and easier to follow, partly because they're humans and they're not men in giant, Muppet suits.
There's probably a very obvious answer to this that I'm not remembering, and will be, again, if anyone wants to replace me on this podcast, please go ahead. But,
absolutely not. You'll have to go through me.
Has there been any humanoid characters in the Star Wars lore who have spoken primarily in, like, it's basic, right?
Yeah.
Not basic.
In a language other than basic, and they're not subtitled?
Yeah.
There have to be. I mean, I'm trying to remember, like...
Or I guess, or their main language is not basic. Like, they're not...
Very rarely.
Yeah.
There's probably somebody who does... I'm going to say yes, at some point, some tertiary character in a scene, like, gets bumped into and says something in an alien language that we don't understand. It happened earlier this episode.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe that's something that Tony Gilroy walked into.
Yeah.
Of what if there is a humanoid that is so alien to even the Star Wars universe that we can't understand them.
Yeah.
That he is to use the word in double meaning, like such an alien background for this character that even his life is alien to the rest of the world around him, the rest of the show around him. That he is truly coming from a place disconnected from the rest of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Exactly. They're cut off from the rest of the galaxy, and they have developed their own language. And even within that language, they have now come up with their own code system.
Is it their own language, or is it the language that their parents spoke?
I think that it's their own language, personally, because they seem to have been on here for a while. But it could be...
We said it's what, 6...
It's been probably 6 years, maybe less, since Cassian has a younger sister. I guess she is, 4? Maybe it's been 4 years. No, you're right. It's the language of Kennari. But they could have been like an indigenous people.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't
living
think
on
that takes
Kennari.
away from it. It just, I think
Yeah.
it's interesting. I mean, I guess not to be too critical, but I think like maybe this is stuff that I think would have been, if we're going to do this much stuff on Kennari, there's a lot of stuff that I think could have maybe helped.
It could have been a whole arc.
Yeah.
At that point.
I think having a little bit more context. If, you saw the scene of them, one of them speaking basic and then the other one goes like, no, we speak this.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad writing. But like, it's.
Yeah. Almost like Irish, like
yes.
we speak our own tongue here.
Exactly. I think there could be a little bit more here that maybe the show is giving us about just what is happening. Because a lot of it is explained later, but I don't think we're learning a lot about these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Besides identifying with Casa, I don't think we learn a lot about the characters that he's traveling with, which I think the show is usually very good at providing that background.
We really only have this leader character to hang our hat on. And I think this person, does play a very pivotal role in Cassian's life. It's just that she isn't really given as much personality as other minor characters in this show.
I think you said it teaches him how to be part of a collective, but I also think it teaches him to never be the first one out.
Yeah.
I think he also learns that he's not a leader in this. He sees the danger of being a leader.
I think it's part of when he becomes jaded.
Yeah.
Which I think will show up in the next episode.
Yeah, we still got some time to go until some real things happen in our flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So are we done in flashback land?
At least for right now, yeah. We will return to flashback land.
As we exit flashback world, it does make me think, I don't think this is a thing where screenplays are printed in different colors, but it does remind me of the joke from The Simpsons where Homer thinks that Mo is dead and Mo becomes handsome.
Yes.
And then Mo becomes a star on a soap opera. And then Homer freaks out because Mo dies in a scene and is freaking out. And he goes, no, Mo doesn't die. Mo's not dead. Pink pages mean a dream. And then Mo said, no, I thought dream was on Goldenrod. And they go, no, Goldenrod's for coma fantasies. I don't know why I had to go into that, but I wanted to pretend that this is all the flashbacks aren't different colored pages on the screenplay.
Yeah, it would be funny if it was like traffic and like all the Kennari scenes were in like yellow.
The South American yellow? Yeah,
South American yellow. The Ferric scenes are in like brown, and then like the Coruscant scenes are blue.
We get the little like Dune-esque throat singing. Yeah, there you go. It's okay when you do it.
I'm allowed to
You're allowed to do it. I'm a Jew, you're an Iranian. There's things that we can vote that are our cultures and things that are not our cultures. And
exactly.
Yes. Please forgive me for referencing a Simpsons episode that is in season 11, which is outside the golden era. So close. 11
still is a cusp.
Yes.
But that's why no one else will remember it.
Yes.
I think we can leave Kennari now.
Kennari. So we leave our flashback on Kennari, and we're in space. Who could this be? We see the back of a man that we don't know who it is. He's flying around Ferrix. Who could this man be?
He's got a very gruff voice.
He sounds a lot like the villain from the American remake of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is weird. He
sure does.
Yeah. Don't know who he is, though. But he dramatically lands on Ferrix, walks out. He's wearing a very nice green coat. He looks out onto the city with some binoculars. And who could this man be? I don't know.
We do get to see his face, so we know he's Stellan Skarsgård.
Do we see his face?
Yeah, he has the binoculars. Yeah, it's got like a whole close-up on him, doesn't it?
No, I think you just see him pull the binoculars up. You see it through the binoculars.
And then he pulls the binoculars down, and we see Stellan Skarsgård's beautiful face.
His beautiful Punim? Oh, sorry, we do see his beautiful Punim. So we know it's Stellan Skarsgård. We don't know who his character is yet.
We don't know who he is. We do know that he is flying in a V-21.1 Chevlex light haul craft, also known as a Fondor, and he is also talking to AI droid companion who is his on-ship navigation.
Does it have a name?
No, it is only known as Fondor droid droid navigation or navigation droid.
I will not annoy our audience into naming all the AI droids as well.
No, we don't need to do that. I do want to point out he has this walking stick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember him ever having a cane ever again.
No, he does.
Okay.
He does, because it looks so much like a lightsaber.
Oh, right, yes.
Throughout season 1, there was a lot of speculation about whether or not this character is a Jedi. And I do think
would have ruined the fucking show.
It absolutely would have, but the way that he is coded in just this first shot screams Jedi.
You think Tony's being a little bit of a tease?
I think at least at some point in production, somebody asked the question, does Stellan get to wave a lightsaber? That had to come up. Either Stellan asked him, or Tony asked Pablo, or Pablo asked Tony. Somebody asked somebody, are we going to give Stellan a lightsaber?
I saw some people talking about this episode online, and they brought up an interesting thing that, like, Ferrix is the opposite of Tatooine. Mm-hmm. Where Tatooine is rural, Ferrix is urban.
Sure.
Where Tatooine is dry, Ferrix is wet and damp.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are seeing a variation of Obi-Wan finding Luke. This is Luthen finding Cassian.
Yeah.
And he can never be a Jedi because this is not a story about Jedis.
Yeah.
So I don't think narratively it makes any sense for him to be a Jedi. I think narratively it has to be that he is the warped version of a mentor for him, but it will never be a positive influence.
Yeah.
In the way that Obi-Wan was.
I think he's a positive influence on Cassian's life.
I guess it's more of a cynical take on it. But I don't know. Do you really think that at some point they thought he could have been a Jedi? I feel like Tony Gilroy came in and said no Jedis. I feel like that was his...
I do think that's true, but in episode 4, we're going to see that Luthen is in possession of something that clearly has him in proximity to Jedi, I think. And fine, I'll just say it now. He's got a Kyber crystal later on. And if I remember right, at some point they talked about part of Luthen's backstory potentially being that he was in love with a Jedi who was killed in Order 66. And that potentially inspiring him to then become Rebel Spy Master. They obviously did not do that story as far as we know. Maybe Luthen prequel series where a young Alexander Skarsgård plays his father and smashes a beautiful Jedi. But
I would just like for someone to write a equivalent telling of like the Civil War, where like Abe Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, like everything ties together to one meeting of a bunch of people that is like everyone that's important to the Civil War somehow connects.
Was all in one room together at the very end.
Yeah, Ulysses S. Grant was dating
Robert E. Lee.
There we go, Robert E. Lee. I was trying to think of somebody more obscure than Robert E. Lee.
More dateable.
Hubba. John Brown.
There we go.
John Brown was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I'm sure
we like craggy-faced men, which God knows somebody has to. Someone out there does.
Is there a John Brown in Andor?
I mean, it's kind of Luthen. A little bit. But a little bit. As far as somebody who's willing to like burn the world down for, what he believes in.
That makes sense. This is not Andor, but to our listeners, if you've never watched the miniseries Good Lord Bird, have you seen it?
I read the book, but I never watched the show.
The show is really good. I feel like it kind of just disappeared into the streaming hole, never to be heard of again.
I was so excited about the show that I read the book, and then I was kind of mixed on the book. Okay. And so that held me back. But that has Ethan Hawke playing John Brown, which is great.
Incredible casting. As John Brown.
Yeah. A rare Blumhouse television show. I don't know if you know that.
That makes sense. I mean,
that was their Emmy play.
That was 5 years ago already?
That was indeed 5 years ago.
Oh my God. Good show though. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the show itself was incredibly written, but the John Brown stuff fucking kicks ass.
I believe that.
Where's my Ethan Hawke, John Brown supercut? I'll just watch that. Okay, so we are watching as Luthen stumbles his way a little bit down into the craggy mountains of Ferrix.
Yeah, he sees like a hover bus station out in the distance and heads towards that. He does ask his AI, like, is this the closest that we can land? And the AI says that, this is the safest we can land. I think kind of acknowledging that maybe Luthen's getting a little old. He doesn't want to walk that far.
Excuse me for going to this again, but like, is Ferrix the planet? But then the city is also Ferrix.
Yes.
So he's landed on Ferrix, but he's not in the city of...
Yes.
Why does the city just not have a different name?
I can't answer that question for you. You will pull at that thread and unravel all of Star Wars naming conventions.
It's taunting me by showing him outside the city and showing what it looks like outside the city.
It's like Ferrix County, you know? Like there's Los Angeles County and then there's the city of Los Angeles. There's other cities within Los Angeles County.
Yeah, and those cities have names. West Hollywood.
Well, we don't know that these other areas don't have names. We just don't know them because they don't show up on a chyron on the show.
Like the city of United States.
Take it up with the Senate, okay? Take it up with Emperor Palpatine. Maybe this is why Palpatine wanted to take over.
Well, just call it Ferrix City.
We can call it Ferrix City
Thank
if
you.
you want. We do get to see the Time Grappler again.
He's back.
At this point.
He's grappling.
He's really grappling with that Beskar.
Do you think he grapples with the concept of time? Do you think he's very like maudlin and like existential and filled with ennui of the onward march of time and that time stops for no man?
He has such a ritual to the way that he carries himself doing this work where nobody else can see him. He takes this deep breath and he holds his hammers up in a way that is very rehearsed. So I bet you he writes poetry about time and the nature of time.
No, I think that makes sense. I want to read his poetry. Let's get a
in-universe poetry book from the Time Grappler.
Who does this bell wake up? It's Bix.
Hi, Bix.
Bix is asleep in bed. Looks like she doesn't want to get out of bed. She's tired.
Relatable.
Yeah, really relatable. But she's asleep, but Tim is awake, sitting, watching her very creepily.
Nothing more suspicious than waking up to see somebody sitting in a chair staring at you.
With me clarify, he is sitting in the cuck chair.
He is in the cuck chair. If you ever wake up and someone is sitting in the cuck chair looking at you, either you fucked up or they fucked up. There's no other option.
That's true. She asks Tim if he has any calf.
Yes.
Rusteen, do you have any lore on calf?
I do not.
Oh, okay. I was hoping.
There is a whole Wikipedia page for calf that says calf, also known as coffee. So the word coffee does exist.
Interesting.
Was a brewed beverage prepared from ground calf beans. It had a bitter taste and stimulating properties because of the caffeine it contained. Calf without any cream or sugar added was referred to as black. Obi-Wan Kenobi was known to prefer black calf. So at some point, Obi-Wan drinks caffeine. This is in Brotherhood, which I think is, an Obi-Wan and Anakin book.
Where's the first actual canonical appearance in, like, live action? Because I don't count the books. Like, what was the first movie where someone had to write calf into a script? Like, so I want to know when a writer had to be like, I want them to have coffee. What is the Star Wars version of coffee?
Calf first canonically appeared in the 2014 novel A New Dawn, written by John Jackson Miller, which is a canon book.
Okay.
So it looks like caffeine did not really exist in... Well, actually, no, that's not true, because this is just saying canonically. It could have existed in legend. It doesn't look like it ever really existed.
I believe the first appearance is right now.
Yeah,
in the Star Wars universe. I mean, sorry, not the cinematic universe, the televisual Star Wars universe.
Yes.
So this is the first time. Calf is new.
It's brand new.
Someone who, like me, who does not care about the extended universe, calf is new. Do you think there's like third wave calf shops, fourth wave calf shops in this?
Yes. Absolutely. There's
Do you think they charge extra for blue milk?
Imagine all the different types of milk in the Star Wars universe. We know there's green milk from those weird...
Who is the most nebbishy Star Wars character that's complaining like, that milk gives me indigestion?
The anti-woke Andrew Tate of the Star Wars universe is like, all those fake milks are bad for you. They're turning you into a woman.
And then, they just upcharge you. It's... I guess, how much is blue milk at Galaxy's Edge?
It's like $12.
Yeah,
that's
a huge surcharge.
It's a sign of gentrification when on Ferrix you can get other kinds of milk. But yes, Tim does brew up a pot of calf for Bix.
A hot pot of calf.
A hot pot of calf. We do see her getting dressed, which is absolutely the closest Star Wars has ever come to admitting that people get under the sheets naked together.
Yeah, I felt like a pervert watching this clip where I'm just like, is she wearing pants or not? Like, it's... I wouldn't have focused on it except that we're trying to like get every detail in. And I'm just like, oh, she's not wearing pants.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
She's buckling him up as
it takes her a little while to buckle them up.
I mean, pants in Star Wars are really complicated. They've got so many like buckles and zippers and buttons.
I guess you can't use the phrase like he puts on his pants one leg of a time, just like anybody else, because there are aliens that put legs on multiple times.
Well, you still put your pants
but
on
you can put
one
on like
leg
two
at a
legs.
time.
Like if you're an
Maybe
alien,
you had 4 legs.
yeah, you
could
put 2 legs at a time.
Well, then on that planet, you would say he puts his pants on 2 legs at a time, and that would be like the normal saying.
But there's a cross pollination. My point is that the phrase doesn't use. That phrase does not work.
Well, that's why they have new phrases like chobs knob.
Chobs knob. Everyone knows what chob is. So yeah, Tim has relocated to his sad little kitchen. Tim says he's very tired, which makes sense because he said he didn't sleep the night before. He just spent all night staring at Bix, presumably. Feeling guilty.
Trying to think about how he's going to tell her, or if he will ever tell her what he did to Cassian, narking on him.
And then Bix says she has some errands to run, and she leaves. And that's the end of Bix and Tim for this week.
Yeah, just a really quick moment of, again, table setting.
Yeah.
Of establishing this relationship that the two of them have, that there is a great degree of intimacy between them, but that they are both now keeping secrets from each other.
Yeah, if not for the use of Calf, there's nothing in the scene that is Star Wars-y.
Yeah.
You could transplant the scene to any era or time or location.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, speaking from there...
we do get Star Wars-y when we return to Cassian in his kind of hideaway where he's looking for some comms to leave with B2. And B2 very cutely says that we don't need comms. Whatever you have to tell me, just come and tell me. And Andor reminds him that he's, gonna have to leave soon, but poor B can't accept it. It's like when you're trying to leave and your dog just like sits at the door and like sadly watches you like put your shoes on.
Can we talk about Hera on the podcast?
Yeah, my dog is named Hera. She is not named after the Greek god. She is named after Hera Syndulla from Star Wars Rebels, and she loves...
I didn't know that for like 2 months. I thought it was named after the Greek god.
Part of the reason to pick the name was it sounded smart, but is actually a Star Wars reference.
Some fun lore for Andorks heads. Hera hates me.
She hates a lot of people.
Okay.
So it's not unique to Alex, but she does hate Alex particularly, which is very funny.
I'm innocent. And
why we can't record at my house, because she will just bark at Alex the whole time.
I swear dogs usually like me.
She is a rescue Bichon from South Korea, and moving to Los Angeles has been a big culture shock for her.
She's a sweet girl, even if she's my biggest hater.
But yeah, this is how Hera looks at me when I leave her at home to come record these episodes. B tells Andor, you should stay. Going is a bad idea, which is very heartbreaking. Although I'm very glad that at this moment, B does not say, I have a bad feeling about this. Like everybody does in Star Wars. That must have been like somebody pitched doing that, getting that reference in there, and this show just refuses
Tony
to
said no,
engage with that. But yeah, B asks Cassian where he's hiding credits for Marva, and he tries to guilt trip Andor into staying. And Andor tells him, go back to Marva. I have to go do what I have to do. And B sadly scurries away. And then our last kind of moment with him is putting his hand into his bag, kind of checking if that Starpath unit is still in there, I think. He's clearly very anxious and like, let me just make sure I have everything in here.
That's a very me-coded moment of, yes. Have I lost this 10 seconds after I put it away?
As soon as it's out of your eye line, it's missing.
I lack object permanence.
Yeah.
So then we cut away to, we're back at Marva's home.
Yeah.
I actually want to take a note here. Two people who, to do our own little flashback of our own, back to when we were talking about the wall of gloves.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing some research and I missed this the first time through. So we'll have to, unless we want to do Andorks twice, which is a concept we can talk about. Then when we're done, we'll do it again.
Prestige class Andorks.
We actually see a pair of gloves hanging in Marva's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who those could be.
Well, we did point out that there is a conspicuously empty hole in the wall, which must be Andor. And so, yeah, you're right that those are his gloves.
Oh, I don't think those are Andor's.
Oh, you think they're hers?
No.
Or Clem's?
I think they're Clem's.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could go either way. I mean, I could see Clem's gloves getting passed down to Andor also.
That's possible, but I think I took it as those are Clem's, and they were permanently hung up there.
I could see that. Be a sad tribute.
But yeah, sorry, back to present day.
Yeah, well, we return to Marva's house, and she is kind of stumbling through the house with her cane, calling after B. She says, if you've powered down back here, I'll be so upset with you. Because he's like that old dog, he like runs out of energy really quickly. And so this is clearly like a constant problem with B. And she goes inside Cassian's childhood bedroom, and we see kind of like the room that he grew up in and I think continues to live in, which has a mix of scrap. It has his blow dart staff from Kennari, and there's
canonically Cassian being a 22-year-old person, living in his childhood bedroom makes sense.
Yes,
45-year-old Diego Luna living in his parents' bedroom
with his bantha stuffed animal on the bedside
I was hoping you were
going to
bring that up.
Of course, I'm going to bring that up. As two leftist dorks who are too old to have stuffed animals in our house, and yet they are everywhere. It's very relatable that he has that little bantha plushie by his bed.
And he's got a little work table with all of his little wires and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little tinkerer.
Yeah, it's like various pieces of scrap and stuff.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Lego.
Star Wars Lego.
Maybe connects.
Yeah, they don't look expensive enough to be Legos, I think.
And then Marva pulls out something that I thought originally was like a samurai sword, but it's not a samurai sword.
No, this is the staff that the kids have. And her picking it up becomes a match cut to then take us back to Kennari.
It's the cane from Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second Simpsons joke of the episode.
I think this like transition is a good example of how, even if we're saying like we're kind of spending too much time in these flashbacks, at the very least the show is doing a good job of tying them organically into the story.
Yeah.
Where her picking this up motivates the cut to the flashback.
It's very masterfully done. I think I'm just trying to get into the writer in me is trying to figure out why he was so adamant on really just sticking with this flashback as much as he wanted, as much as he did. I guess I don't. It's not done poorly. I'm just curious about what it was that he really wanted to make sure he's hammering home.
I think, and when we return to Kennari and we see this leader approaching like the dead bodies on the ground, I think the reason that it feels long is because they're trying to build this sense of like eerie dread. Like this flaming spaceship comes across the sky. They go to it. The landscape is charred and destroyed all around them. There are dead bodies on the ground. They're all yellow. There's like green gas.
Are they?
So yes, they are yellow because of this poison.
Oh, they're not yellow aliens.
They are not yellow aliens.
Okay.
Those are all humanoids who I think have been poisoned by the ship crashing, and then the poisonous gas getting released.
That makes sense. I thought they were just like Star Trek alien.
I wondered about that for a long time, but then what we see in the next episode made it clear to me that is not the case, because we see all of these guys have gas masks on, and she goes up to one of the dead bodies that is dangling out of the ship, and she pokes it. And when it falls to the ground, we actually even see that it has a separatist symbol on his arm.
So remind me who the separatists are again?
The separatists are folks in the Republic who decide they no longer want to be a part of the Republic.
But they're not pro-Empire.
No, they are manipulated by the Sith to introduce chaos into galactic politics, so that way the Palpatine can take control of the Galactic Empire.
Oh, yes, I'm remembering in the future we will hear about the Neo-Separatists.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, God, we might have to spend 2 episodes just on that speech.
Yes, when we get to Saw Gerrera, oh boy, that is what this show was made for.
We're going to spend an entire episode on one sentence.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to start working on my Saw Gerrera voice now.
I'm going to break up that monologue into so many different tabs. You won't believe it.
I can't do the voice. I really got to practice. I'm not going to do it now.
You need to
smoke for 35 years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll get some cigars. Go club random with it.
Oh my God. We won't talk about the Woody Allen club random.
No.
Episode.
This episode will be coming out too late for that.
It's never too late.
Maybe he's going to become like Bill Maher's recurring guest, his sidekick.
That would be
Andy Richter to Bill Maher's Conan.
You know what that would be?
What?
So random.
It would be so random.
So yeah, she pokes this separatist body. He falls down, as bodies are wont to do, and
and yeah, very scary. This whole sequence is very tense, with the kids clearly not sure what the hell is going on.
So she goes to poke the dead body. The dead body's on the ground, and then happening behind her
is the end of this episode.
Oh, yes, right. We only have 7 minutes, and I guess this is 7 minutes.
It sure is. Splitting this up this way leaves us in these moments of suspense.
Yeah, usually we go by scene, trying to get 7 minute-ish, but I guess this time you're being really adamant on stopping at mid-scene.
If we didn't stop at this scene, there would not then be 7 minutes remaining for the next episode.
That's fair.
Which is a bridge too far for us.
And we should change our opening to Andor in 7-ish minutes.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
But yes, that is the end of this Quibi-sized chunk of Andor. We will be returning next week to see what happens to the young kids of Kennari, and we hope to see you there.
And stay tuned for the Luthen Riel Quibi prequel coming down the pipeline. I mean, verticals are back.
Disney Plus may not have, blown the doors down, but maybe Disney verticals?
I mean, all of the money is going into vertical storytelling.
Yeah.
So now's the time to pitch.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This podcast is now over. We will be selling our pitch.
Yeah, actually, we're going to delete this from the episode so none of you steal this idea.
Patent pending.
If you do this, we will sue you.
On that note, bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Andorks. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your platform of choice. And why don't you go ahead and send us an email while you're at it? andorkspod@gmail.com. Any questions you have about the show, any topics that we might have missed that you think we should, touch on, and anything that you're looking forward to in future episodes that we should be sure to talk about. andorkspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, tell us where we fucked up.
Yeah, because we sure did fuck up at some point.
We are now at 56 minutes total of the show Andor. 916 minutes left.
Hell yeah.
We're moving right along.
We're blazing through Andor, everybody. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.